Alright, let's dive into this because it's a story that's got a lot of layers, and personally, I think it says a lot about where cricket is right now, especially for India. So, here's the deal. Sai Sudharsan, the young batter who's been making waves, is out of the Sri Lanka Test series due to a toe stress fracture. Now, on the surface, it's just another injury update, right? But if you take a step back and think about it, this is way more significant than it seems. First off, what makes this really interesting is the timing. India's already dealing with a bunch of injuries: Jasprit Bumrah, Harshit Rana, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Akashdeep, and now Sudharsan. That's a lot of key players sidelined. In my opinion, this isn't just bad luck. It's a symptom of a bigger issue in how teams manage player workloads. Sudharsan, for instance, was coming off a stellar India A tour where he scored 132 and 168 in back-to-back games. That's incredible form, but it also raises a deeper question. Are we pushing these young players too hard, too fast? A toe stress fracture isn't something that happens overnight. It's a cumulative effect of stress, and that's something the BCCI needs to reflect on. Now, let's talk about Sudharsan's role in the team. He was supposed to be a key batter in this series, especially after his recent performances. What many people don't realize is that his absence leaves a pretty big gap in India's middle order. Sure, Devdutt Padikkal stepped up in the tour game with a century, but it's not the same. Sudharsan's technique and temperament in longer formats are what make him stand out. From my perspective, this injury isn't just a setback for him. It's a missed opportunity for India to solidify their batting lineup in a crucial WTC series. And speaking of the WTC, India's currently 5th in the standings. Not terrible, but not great either. This series against Sri Lanka was a chance to climb up the table, but with all these injuries, it feels like they're fighting with one hand tied behind their back. What this really suggests is that India's depth is being tested like never before. Yes, they've got talent, but can the replacements fill the shoes of someone like Bumrah or Sudharsan? That's the million-dollar question. A detail I find fascinating is how these injuries are forcing India to rethink their strategy. Aqib Nabi replacing Bumrah, Padikkal stepping in for Sudharsan. These aren't just like-for-like swaps. They're completely different players with different strengths. Personally, I think this could be a blessing in disguise. It's a chance for these younger players to prove themselves, but it's also a risk. If they don't perform, the criticism will be harsh. Cricket is a ruthless sport, after all. If you ask me, the bigger picture here is about player management and long-term planning. India's got a packed schedule, and these injuries aren't happening in a vacuum. It's a wake-up call for the BCCI to prioritize player health over short-term gains. What makes this really interesting is how it contrasts with other teams. Look at Australia or England. They've got systems in place to manage workloads and prevent injuries. India needs to catch up, and fast. So, where does this leave us? Well, the series starts on August 15th in Galle, and India's squad is looking a bit patchwork. But here's the thing. Cricket is unpredictable. Injuries, setbacks, comebacks. It's all part of the game. What this really suggests is that India's resilience will be tested. Can they adapt? Can they find a way to win despite the odds? That's what I'll be watching for. In the end, Sudharsan's injury is more than just a headline. It's a story about the pressures of modern cricket, the challenges of team management, and the opportunities that arise from adversity. Personally, I think this series could be a turning point for India one way or another, and that's what makes it so compelling. So, what do you think? Is India's squad strong enough to overcome these setbacks? Or are they in for a tough ride? Let me know in the comments below.